Hi, and welcome to You're the Artist Studios. My name is Joni, and I teach in-person paint parties in Tennessee. And so I created this channel so that anyone, anywhere can paint along with me. It is perfect for beginners because I walk you through step by step, just like I do at my in-person paint parties. So today, it's my first video. I created a fun new sunflower painting that I have not even released to my in-person paint parties yet. I'm hemming and hawing on whether I will, but I thought maybe you guys would want to paint along. Feel free to grab whatever paints you have, any size canvas, and I'll walk you through as we paint this very simple sunflower painting. So let me go ahead and switch to camera angle. We can get started. You can see what I'm doing, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna get started on our little sunflower. Now, again, as I'm sure I mentioned, this is kind of just a idea I had. I don't know if this is gonna work out well. Right now, these are my colors. There's white, there's blue. I'm gonna actually mix some white into the blue to make some light blue at some point. There is dark green, light green, goldish yellow, orange, a light brown, dark brown. All right, so let's get started. If you'd like to paint along, just feel free. Use whatever size canvas. I basically drew just a simple sunflower, nothing too elaborate. I threw some leaves in on the bottom, and feel free to stop the video at any time to pause, catch up. But I'm just going to kind of basically start. I'm going to outline this, and I'm purposely not going in a perfectly straight line. I'm kind of wiggling it around because it's never perfectly straight. There's all these bumps and lumps and the seeds and everything that's in a sunflower. Just kind of doing the outline here. And for this one, I have 3 brushes with me. What I'll use, I'm not sure, as I'm winging this. I have a medium round, a detailed thin brush, and a 1-inch flat. I'm going to take the, I think I'll take the lighter brown and just kind of do some of the outline of the flower petals. Not sure I like that. We'll see. I'm used to working on an easel, but this makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. Till I get a better video set up for right now. So we're going to continue outlining the sunflower. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you can still hear my dog. They are literally outside in the backyard. Fortunately, it's a beautiful day. And just doing a basic outline. So you can use any kind of paints that you want. I have actually a variety of brands. Um, some of these are my favorite basically for doing this kind of painting, acrylic. For the paint parties and everything I do is the Decor Americana. It covers wonderfully. It flows smoothly. It's a great paint. And that's mostly what I have. I do have some Hobby Lobby Master's Touch paints too, which I also like those a lot as well. And also some Apple Barrel paint. But acrylic paints are great for this because they dry quickly, whereas oil paints will take forever. You may also notice that this is a rather imperfect canvas. There's blotches and things all over it. And that's because this is the canvas that I used for, it was probably, I'd have to turn it over and look at it in the light, a canvas I painted during a class, which meant it would be a duplicate of what I already had. And so very often I'll take some gesso and just kind of paint over those and reuse them for ideas such as this. Like, I have no idea if this painting is going to work out. If it's terrible, this video might never see the light of day. Okay, the fun part. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do one half of this canvas is going to be daytime, one half of this canvas is going to be nighttime. I saw something, a t-shirt actually, where somebody had a similar type of illustration on it. And I wish I'd taken a picture of it. I'm sure she would have let me. But I just saw it and I said, oh, well, that might make a really neat paint party painting. So we're giving it a try. So I'm just throwing some leaves down here. I'm using the darker green. I'm just outlining them. And feel free also to paint your sides. You're going to kind of come in and all right, so now the fun part begins. I'm kind of anxious about this part. So I'm going to do this side day and this side night. So what I'm going to do is take just a wee bit of my dark blue. I'm going to mix some white in with it. And the reason I'm doing that instead of using just a whole other light blue is that because it'll be the same blue, just lightened, it'll kind of pull it all together. It won't look, I mean, it's going to look separated, but I'm using the same blue for both. As you don't want to put it all in all of your white because then you're going to mess up your white altogether. I'll just try and mix up enough that hopefully I have enough on here that I won't have to remix anything. Take as much of this off. And I'm going to actually pull out my 2-inch flat brush for this part. Although honestly, I don't need to. It's not that big a space. It will cover it nicely. Now the nighttime sky, I've kind of got that, like knows pretty much exactly what I want to do with that. I'm just not 100% certain on the daytime sky. But we'll figure it out as we go along. That's how I do a lot of my stuff. Kind of figure it out as I go along. Just fake it till you make it. I want to add a little white to that and just lighten up that bottom part a little bit more. So what I just did was adding the white to lighten the bottom part. You want to do that while the paint's wet. If not, it won't blend well. I'm going to go back to my medium round brush. See if I can't. This is where working flat is a bit of a challenge for me rather than on easel. I had to stand up to. Let's see. Trying to put my hand in any wet paint. Let's see. Getting a little brown in there. That's right. Just clean my brush off. Blend that in a little better. I just want to get all these little spaces filled in. Add some more white to that blue so I can kind of match what I did here. And that's the leaf. It just seems like it might be a fun summer painting. We'll see if you guys like it or not. All right, and I'm going to take just kind of smooth that over because I want it to be as smooth as I can. There, daylight side is done. Now I'm going to use the blue without the white. I'm sorry, I know you can hear my dogs. I should go close my windows. But the dogs are going to be a part of this channel because I can't keep them from living in my house. Honestly, I don't even actually really have a room that I could close off and do this outside of, like, I have a spare room, but there's no room in there unless I take the bed out, and then there's my room, and it's kind of dark and dungeony. And that's it. It's an old house, doesn't have any closets for speak of, doesn't have many doors. Oh, of course, there's a bathroom as well. I mean, it has the door to the bedrooms, and that's it. All right, so let's kind of just, this is nighttime. So I want to do this dark blue. Could add a little purple into that to variety, but that's all right. I think the dark blue will be good as it is. This is a really nice blue. This is the Master's Touch. I think it's the Thalo blue. That's a Hobby Lobby brand. So outside of just trying to stay in the lines or stay outside of the lines, technically on this, has not been, it's not a very difficult painting. It's pretty easy. So let's paint around the leaf. Yeah, I see I kind of went over the line. Just try and get all the paint on the canvas. If you don't get all the paint on the canvas, you'll see all these little white lines and dots, and you don't want that. You can use a smaller brush for some of this detail. For me, it's just as easy to use the bigger brush. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of the side, the right side, and it's easier for me to work on than the left side. I felt like I needed to use the little brush for that side, but for this side, it's just flowing nicely with this bigger brush. Ta-da! Okay. Daytime, nighttime. We're going to let this dry. And I'm going to clean this brush out really good. Give it a good whirl around the water. Okay. Brush it off on my paper towel here. And let's see. We're going to go into the gold. And you can use the smaller brush. I mean, you can use whatever brushes you have. And I always encourage people, just use whatever brush you're comfortable with. I'll have people that will use a small brush for larger areas because they just feel like they have more control over it. And I have some people that will just use this brush, this big brush, for just about everything. And the same thing, like I always encourage my painters at paint parties to just do what's comfortable, and also to make it your own. So this doesn't, you don't have to paint it yellow like a typical sunflower. I've had people do sunflowers all different colors. So feel free, if you don't have, obviously I'm not worried about you having the exact colors. You just have, if you want to do it like this, just have you can even have a light blue, a dark blue, any kind of yellow, any kind of green. And if you don't have like a dark green and a light green, or a dark blue and a light blue, just either add some white or add a darker color. So like you want a darker blue. If you have black, you can add a little bit of black to it. That's not my favorite way of doing it. I'd maybe add a little purple to it, or a little red to it to make it darker, but you can mix colors to make them anything you want. And if you guys want, in the future, I might make a whole entire video on just mixing colors. What you can mix with what to make what. Like I have my favorite way of making green, and you'd never guess how it is. You'd say blue and yellow. Nope. But we'll leave that for another video another time. If I do that, we'll put that in another video. So again, because this initially it was a rather imperfect canvas, and of course any canvases you get at my paint parties are brand spanking new right from the supply. But I mean, how many same paintings do I need hanging around? And honestly, half the time at my paint parties, I don't really even typically finish. Sometimes I'll finish them, sometimes I won't, because I'm walking around helping everybody. So I'll just, paint over them. And it's just reuses the canvas rather than tossing it out. Most of the time, if they're, I'd give them away. I have no problem with that, like nursing home or something. But a lot of times at the paint parties, because I'm not able to put the concentration into it that I would if I were sitting home painting it like right now. They're not nearly as good as the original that I did, and so it's just easier to paint over them. go too. Brush really good. All right, so what I think I'm going to do, finish up these couple little ones down here, is I think for the dark side, I'm going to make those leaves a little darker. So what I think I might do is take some of my gold that I've been painting them with and mix a little bit of that orange that I put on the plate. Just to make them a little darker. So I moved a little yellow over and I'm mixing some orange into it. I'm still using my little brush. Let's see what that looks like. So for the dark side, let's see how it turns out. If we don't like it at the end, once this orangey color dries, I could always go back over it with the yellow gold, and it'll cover it up. That's the one beautiful thing about acrylic paints. It's very versatile that way, and if you don't like something, you can just paint over it. Just gotta let it dry some. That's what I get people who make a mistake or paint something wrong and they panic and they freak out. I'm like, just let it dry and we'll paint right over it. It's okay. Everything can be fixed. So technically, too, just so you know, this is the first painting I'm doing for YouTube. Today's the first day in like, jeez, 3 or 4 days that the sun's been out. And it's sunny. It's been chilly and cold and rainy. It's still a little chilly, but not as chilly as it's been. So I'm just excited for summer. I love summer. So there's one of those little imperfections that I can probably fix once that dries and put another layer of paint over it, and it'll probably look fine. It's just, like I said, we're experimenting because I have no idea if this painting's going to look good or not. It might, when we're done, it might be like, ugh. What were you thinking? It looks stupid. All right, let's see. Almost done. Cool. I may even blend in some of that orange. Taking a little bit of that orangey color and I'm adding a little more yellow to it just so it's not so orangey. And then I'm going to come back in with straight yellow. Just kind of blend it so that they kind of blend together. Come back in with some more orange. There. And I see a few white spots here and there. You can always go back and fix those in the end. We might come over some of this brown again. We might not. We'll see. That's the fun part of doing this, kind of experimenting. All right, so what I'm going to do too now, I'm going to do the inside of that little sunflower. So I took a tiny bit of white. I'm mixing in a little brown, the light brown, and I'm making it lighter. I'm not really a fan of that color brown. I think I might add a little orange to it. See, you add a little bit of the orangey color to the brown, which will also tie everything together. The same reason I'd use the same blue for the sky. So they're the same. They don't look so disconnected. All right, so we're just filling this in. And now we're going to take the dark brown. Okay. We'll take the dark brown and just kind of we don't want this to be too perfectly even. I mean, it's a flower inside of a flower thing. So we're going to kind of come around. And I'm basically tapping it on there because I kind of want it to look, I don't want it to look smooth like a brush stroke because basically it's all the seeds and stuff that's inside. And so on a sunflower, you'll have that outer ring and then there'll be an inner ring. And I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. You can see my canvas bouncing around as I tap it. And just tap it and tap it. And this is with the darker brown. Okay, so they're having a barking competition with my neighbor's dogs, who are always outside. And now I'm going to tap and tap and tap and tap and tap and make like a little ring in the center here. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be round. We're going to tap a little center in here. I'm going to use some of the lighter brown straight up without the white mixed into it. I'm just kind of not covering it all, letting some of that lighter brown show through, but adding in texture, basically. And just tapping and tapping and tapping. I don't want any smooth brush strokes or anything with this. Again, want some of that light brown to show through from the background. There we go. Now what I may do is take, again, a little bit more white and a light brown. Not as light as we did before. And for the side that is light, let's throw some in there and leave one side darker. So you'll still see some of that dark coming through, but there's going to be more of the light brown. I'm just going to do half. Do the same thing in here. Come in here a little bit more with the darker brown. So you got that light and that dark. Now let's go in the leaves. So I could have done the same thing with the leaves. I could have taken that my dark green and just added white to it, but I have a light green that I really enjoy, I really like. So I'm gonna use that. And we're just gonna paint the leaves in. And on this bottom here, it's okay. We're just gonna paint in the green. There's leaves going all the way around it. I'll actually have to do a video with each of my dogs and introduce them, since they'll probably be a part of it with their barking because a leaf blew by too loudly. All right, so now I'm going to go back to the dark green. And just have fun with the leaves. They don't have to be perfect. This is all supposed to be fun. And fun and relaxing and a total stress reliever. And I find painting to be exactly that. Now you can use the little brush for this, the detail, if you have a detail brush. I'm just using the medium round. So if any of you do take and paint this, I'd love if you show your pictures, post them either on the YouTube channel, I guess, or you can follow my Facebook page, which is Facebook's/ You're the Artist Paint Parties. Or actually, it's just You're the Artist. So Facebook, You're the Artist / You're the Artist. And if you live locally and you want to follow my Facebook page to see where I'm doing paint parties next, that's where they'll all be. If you don't live locally and you're following my parties, then stay tuned to here, because my goal is to do some online paint parties as well. So I'm going to kind of go back and touch up some of the line work I knew we would have to. We're going to put like white highlights in here, so it's not going to have to be perfect. I just wanted to it's either there or it's not there. And since it's there, I want to make sure it's looking good. If we hadn't added the lines at all, it would be a problem, but it would be hard to differentiate the leaves. I mean, not the leaves, but the petals. And I'm not using any black at all in this painting, which is nice. A nice change of pace. Still deciding how I want to do the daytime section. I might just add clouds to it. Billowy clouds. Those are fun. I love painting clouds. All right, so the nighttime. I'm going to take this is why we had to wait this to dry, and it is completely dry. Acrylic paints dry pretty quickly. But if I was going to put a white moon on there, water puffs in the way. I may actually take my little brush. So not get those more pointier edge on that. You can do a full moon, a crescent moon, whatever kind of moon you want to do. This is not the most perfect moon. I could have done better. Sorry. I can actually go back in there once this dries and fix it. But it has to dry first. So then I'm going to put stars in the sky. I think I'm going to put a shooting star right here. We're just going to put a bunch of stars. Do there. All right, so I'm thinking billowy clouds. And I'm just going to dip my brush in a way. I'm using my medium brush and I'm just doing circles. Circle, circle, circles. And I'm letting it fade down into the blue. And I'm just doing circles, literally, until the paint runs out, basically. And it's just, so you want to start on the top, make sure the paint is stronger on the top. Then you can come back in and paint that top. Streaky clouds in there. Painting skies and water are some of my favorite things. We'll do one more. I'm not really a fan of going down so low with clouds, but you know what the heck. We'll bring that one up over this. Looks like I pulled some brown, but that's right. Cover that up. So now I'm going to take some white and just go over these tops. Still painting circles. Just doing my brush in circular motion, round and round. Just making fluffy little clouds. They're probably not the best, but basically just want to get the point across that this is daytime, that is nighttime. Just cover up that brown. And I can always come back in with some of that light blue. Just lighten it up a little bit more. So see how I'm coming back in with some of that, like pushing some of it back. And I can come and push it forward again. And push it down again. Just come back in with the the top of your cloud is always going to be lighter because that's where the sun is catching it, and the bottom of your cloud will usually be darker because that's where it's in the shadow, or sometimes it's darker just because it's heavy with rain. But I'm sure you all know, you've looked at clouds. All right. I'm going to leave the clouds alone now. And now, one last thing. Just going to take and add like white highlights. More sunflower. Just fun. Random. Wherever. Let me add a bit of white. Not a lot. Still keeping it mostly brown. Yeah, some dark brown dots on opposite. So my dogs are demanding to come in. A few more white highlights on the leaves. Keep the leaves on the dark side. Probably should have been a little darker. So resolve that right now. Because it's the dark side. It's the dark side. See how easy it is to fix something? You just paint over it. Ideally when it's dry, because otherwise it'll just smear. And so what I'll do is I will add some of that dark blue to the green to make an even darker green. Just the tiniest bit. So this I added a little of the light green too. It is quite wet, and ideally I should let this dry. All right, well, I'll have to sit there and look at this painting for a while and decide if I like it or not. Kind of had no plan, just a general idea, and said kind of like that. And so I didn't paint it ahead of time. I painted it for the first time with you guys, not to decide if I like it or not. We'll see. Well, I hope you enjoyed painting the sunflower with the night and the day. I had fun painting it. So feel free to like and subscribe, and you'll get and ring the notification bell so that you'll know when I post the next painting, which will be really soon. I'm going to try and do it at least once a week if I can, between work, paint parties, all that. But I thank you guys for painting along. I thank you guys for coming, and I hope to talk to you all soon. Have a great day.